I'm going to be taking you through a full day of eating today and what I eat to stay shredded. So I'm currently in quite a harsh digging phase at the moment, so I'm still cutting for Marbella coming up. So I'm going to talk you through each meal and we'll discuss the macros and calories.
Yeah, hit the ground and it go off. Yeah, run it. Ooh, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my year. Yeah, I really feel it's my time, think it's my pen ready. Used to hold myself back, my self-esteem damn bad. I gotta keep on chugging.
Right guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm going to be taking you through a full day of eating today and what I eat to stay shredded. So I'm currently in quite a harsh digging phase at the moment, so I'm still cutting for Marbella coming up. So I'm going to talk you through each meal and we'll discuss the macros and calories. So again, I'm just back from the shop, so I'm going to take you through exactly what I got. Starting off with our protein sources, we've got bacon medallions, we've got prawns, we've got chicken breasts, and we've also got protein yogurts. Moving on to the carbs, the limited carbs that I'm actually on, we've got jasmine rice, we've got squares bars, my pre-workout food, and we've got cocoa pops, my post-workout food. And then moving on to fruit and veg, we've got raspberries and strawberries. We've also got green beans over here, which we'll be having with most of my meals. And then I've also got a few other accessories to make the food a bit more tasteful, a bit more flavourable. We've got passata, which is dead low in fat, dead low in calories. And then we've also got some sweet chilli sauce to make it a bit more interesting. Other than that, fats are very low at the moment, so really just going to be getting our fats through our eggs. And I've also got some dark chocolate to put in with my fruit and yogurt later on in the day.
Stuck in a hurricane, 'cause everything around you just keeps on turning. I can see you searching for an escape. The fire in your...
We're nearly there. Nice quick breakfast.
So is this every day? Is this your breakfast?
Every day. So it is quite boring, it is really exciting. You do get a bagel in your plan now and again, but we need to make do. Trust the process.
What was like, see when you're like bulking, dirty bulking, what was the go-to breakfast then?
Go to the breakfast. So obviously you get hex sausages now, but I didn't have them back in the day, so it was more just kind of like full fat sausages, about 4 eggs, bacon, bagels, everything. It was like a full English breakfast pretty much.
So like this, but like 7 times.
That's on steroids pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Pound down 1,300 calories in the morning.
Exactly that. So I just kind of fire it in and just make it all messy and mix it all up together. So it's not really going to look any nicer than that. I promise you it does taste good, even though it looks horrendous.
It's alright.
Feeling like you're stuck in a hurricane, 'cause
so that's meal one about to go in right now. So when you're obviously cutting, it's important about meal timing, so obviously you don't get hungry later on in the day. So if you look at the time right now, it is currently 10 past 11. So what I've done this morning, I got up, I had clients this morning, I got my water, I usually got a big 12 bottle, but I've only got a wee 750 ml today. But what I do is I try and get at least 2 litres in before my first meal, and what that'll do is it'll fill me up, obviously then go leading into my first meal, which will be later on in the day. That then gives me time obviously throughout the day to spread out my meals, and when it comes to 10 o'clock tonight, I'm not sitting craving all the foods that I've really wanted to have over the last couple of days. So meal one is just 2 eggs and 3 bits of bacon medallions. So that is the calories in this are 215. There's 11 grams of fat, which is probably one of my more fattier meals of the day. And then the proteins are nice and high at 28 grams. So it's a good first meal, getting the protein in. Fat's a little bit higher than usual, but again, carbs are very, very low in this. There's no carbs at all in this meal. So we'll get tucked in. If you've ever never felt awkward, get something to video when you're eating.
I know, yeah.
I know you got problems, know you at the bottom, know you took a loss today. Everybody want bottles, living for a throttle, you just want bottle, yeah. Tell me joy where it's hot.
People are going to think I'm actually doing the dishes nowadays.
Andrew Tate wouldn't be happy.
Don't you go off today, yeah. Don't you go off, yeah.
So everything's pretty quick to cook, isn't it?
Yeah, dead quick. Like, I think the longest meal is probably this one, just because the rice takes so long.
Sure.
When I cut my chicken up, I cut it up.
You say so long, like 10 minutes.
Aye, 10-15 minutes, but it's like when I cut my chicken up, I cut it up the same way I did my bacon.
Sure. So
Dead small bits and it cooks real quickly.
I'm just enjoying the moments cause ain't no next time. Trying to slide with my people on the west side. Yeah, moving different than all the rest cause I'm by doing it different. New vision and no regrets. Man, I used to be a victim, repented of all my stress. Now, excuse me,
Oh, disaster. Turn it open properly.
If I'm high, we all tall. Just know I got your back. If you down, then we all fall. That's loyalty, baby. That's right. That's right. Can't control it.
Taste test. You like that?
You do it fast, but oh, I know you got problems. Know you at the bottom. Know you took a loss.
So this is now meal 2. So we've got 250 grams of king prawns, 50 grams of jasmine rice, and we've got 150 grams of green beans. I've also added in a few different ingredients just to make it a little bit more flavourable. We've got sweet chilli sauce and we've got some tomato passata sauce, which are both very, very low in calories. And I've also got some chilli flakes in it just to give it a little bit of spice. So we'll plate that up then out, and then we'll talk about the calories and macros.
Don't you go off, don't you go off now.
So that's meal 2 about to go down. So it's a total of 525 calories. It's got 3 grams of fat and a total of 56 grams of protein. Again, this is probably my highest carb meal, as I've got 50 grams of jasmine rice, which is coming up to 64 grams of carbs. So to make this meal, it doesn't take too long. The longest part is just the rice. So obviously cooking the rice takes between 10 to 15 minutes. Prawns, because they're already cooked, you just need to heat them up in the pan along with the green beans. Personally, for me, I prefer my green beans being from the tin, as I find the frozen ones just don't taste as good. It's a little bit more expensive, but you're talking about 85 pence for a tin, so 2 tins a day. So maybe like come up for £2 on green beans per day. But I do prefer it much better, and it's obviously a lot easier just to fling it in with the prawns instead of putting it in with the rice. So it's probably my most enjoyable meal. It's probably the most tasteful one as well. So I always look forward to getting this in. Usually, because obviously I'm cutting at the moment, it's quite an aggressive cut. I like to get 2 meals plus my pre-workout food in before I actually train. So after this, we'll be having a squares bar and then heading straight off to the gym. So that's us finished our first 2 meals of the day. We're now heading up to Elite Fitness at Uddingston again. And I'm going to have my pre-workout meal, which is a squares bar. So just get some carbs in before going training, getting the energy levels up. Water intake's been nice and high this morning again. I like to have at least 2 to 3 litres in the system before I start training.
Hey, sound good!
Right guys, that's me outside Elite Fitness now at Uddingston, about to take my pre-workout meal, which is my squares bar. So in the squares bar, there's a total 120 calories, there's 21 grams of carbs, which is obviously my energy levels. I've got 3.4 grams of fat with 0 grams of protein. So that's me just finished my squares bar and I'm ready to go into upper body session. So obviously this video is all about what I eat in a day, so we're going to keep the training short. I'm just going to go straight into a sick edit in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Hey, sound good! Yeah. Look, I'm interested in making ends opposed to making friends. Double bangs, I've been paranoid, having the safest sex, I'll take the check. Finishing this drink should only take a sec, but Mark just cut me off, he told me that I go on stage in 10. Walk out to my own shit on the main event. Da Vinci my cologne after the show. She told me that shit was a favorite sin. Sprint event is spacious, we could take your friends. What happened next, you could take a guess. Beat the pussy up, then I beat the eyes too. Got a lot to prove, L Woods with the law school. I am not a wave, I'm a monsoon. Send her on the way after she blow me like some hot soup. She break a bank just to get the right picture and it looks great. Ooh, I love the shape, I swear.
Right guys, that's a wrap on the upper body session. We're now going to head back to the house for meal 3 and 4. We'll get you there. Right guys, that's us just back from the gym. So our post-workout meal is Cocoa Pops. So that's probably my favourite point in the day, where I get to have a little bit of chocolate in my diet. So from here we're going to have 50 grams only. It used to be 100 grams at the start, but now we've cut all the way down to 75 and all the way down to 50 now. As like I said, we're obviously quite an aggressive digging phase at the moment, and obviously Marbella is coming up. So we're just going to pour 50 grams alongside 100 ml of almond milk. So straight after training, I always do like to get some carbs in to help replenish the muscles. So obviously we've got Cocoa Pops here, which is obviously just straight carbs, straight into the body and straight into the muscles. We're now going to make meal number 3. So meal number 3 is chicken, green beans, and we're going to add in some onion as well as some garlic, right? So there's no carbs in this meal. My rice and my potatoes have been taken out of meal number 3. So we'll get cracking.
I'm going off, they going off the mat. All the mistakes they making I made, I could've taught you that. I gotta watch.
Gonna also add in some peri salt, just a little bit.
There's nobody other than hand to me. Nobody other, no fans to me. Nobody wanted it bad as me. I cut off the team, I managed me.
150 grams of green beans, game changer. Don't put too much in of it, but it gives that sort of like wee creamy taste to it.
I was fucking on 10, staying distracted. If I wasn't blinded by pussy, I bet could've tripled the status. Like, could you imagine?
Look at camera. Right guys, so that's meal 3 complete. So what we've got here, we've got 250 grams of chicken breast, we've got 150 grams of green beans, and we've also added in 20 grams of Philadelphia. It's meant to be Philadelphia Light, but I didn't have that one there. So in total, this meal is 356 calories, and from looking at it, it obviously looks a bit more than that. It's quite filling. So talking through your macros, we've got 3 grams of fat, we've got 56 grams of protein, and we have 64 grams of carbohydrates. So it's a very, very good high protein source with very low fat, which is kind of what my diet is based around at the moment due to this really aggressive cutting stage that I'm in. What previously I'd had would have potatoes with this. I'd have 300 grams of baby potatoes. So that would obviously give you a carb source into it. But for now, carbs being cut out as Marbella is currently about a week and a half away. This meal is nice and simple to cook. It generally takes 10 to 15 minutes. All you need to do is just cut up your garlic and onion, fry it in the pan for a few minutes itself, then add in the chicken. I then like to add some Cajun spice into it as well as either some chili flakes or a little bit of peri salt, just give it a little bit more flavour. And on top of that, you fire it all in together, mix it all up, and within 10 minutes you add the green beans in, and then you just mix it all in. So that's it sorted. So nice and simple. It's a very, very good meal if you're obviously in a rush, if you're busy. Right, so the meal number 4 now a few hours on, and usually I have this meal around 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Just as I've said, meal time is very important when you're cutting. Obviously you don't be having any cravings later on at night where most people seem to have them. So 9:30, 10 o'clock, we're now having a skyr yogurt. So we get 20 grams in it, we go for 200 grams of this. We also then have 200 grams of mixed fruit, so I've got raspberries and strawberries here, so we'll do 100 grams of each. And I'm going to finish it off with 30 grams of the 85% dark chocolate. Right guys, that's a wrap on meal number 4. So as you can see throughout the full day, I've had 4 meals with 2 snacks, 1 pre-workout snack and 1 post-workout snack. So overall, I've had 1,800 calories. Within that 1,800 calories, there's been 172 grams of carbs, there's been 37 grams of fat, and there's been a total of 195 grams of protein. So despite my calories still being very low, I'm still getting a very high protein intake whilst keeping my fats nice and low. And that's very important, obviously, when cutting, that we do have our protein nice and high to keep us nice and full for a longer period of time. As mentioned previously, always focus on meal timings. Don't have your meals all crammed into the same time. Always spread it out so you're not having any cravings later on at night. Another tip for cutting, when you are having meals, try and make them as big as possible, as in adding volume, adding good foods in. As you see, I added green beans in, I added garlics, I added onions, so it just fills out your meal a little bit more, obviously making you a little bit less hungry throughout the day. So for the rest of the year, my plan is I'm going to be cutting, so I'll possibly go into an off season in January. So if you want to see a full day of eating on a bulk, let me know. But that is a wrap on a full day of eating whilst trying to stay shredded or trying to get shredded. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe.